Hello, Internet. This is Elisha, and I'm in Mongu. Today, we'll be visiting Kalabo, and Kalabo is a place that I would normally pass through anytime I would be in transit from Mongu to Skongo district. So usually, I would always walk by a certain restaurant so as to buy food. And I would always find this fine lady at that particular restaurant. She was a crowd puller. Anytime she would be available, there would be lots of people around that restaurant. A year later, I found that the shop had been closed and the lady was no longer working from there. I asked around, I was told she was no longer working from there and she'd been sacked. I asked the fella to show me why she'd moved to, and that fella was kind enough to show me. And I traced the restaurant where she had started working from. When I found her, I asked her if she was running her own restaurant this time around. Unfortunately, it wasn't hers, and she told me a sad story that she was getting 150 kwacha, and because she was away from work for 2-3 days, the owner of the restaurant paid her 50 kwacha. That actually made me to sit her down and feed her with an idea that I had that we should start up a restaurant. So she told me the budget for us to start running the restaurant, and I got a loan at that time. I think that was 8,000 kwacha, and that was in the year 2015 or 2018 rather, 2018. I first saw her in the year 2015. So in the year 2018, I got a loan and I pumped in the money into the business. We bought everything that we needed, the equipment, the facilities, and the like. I also paid rentals. And she started working. She was really, really hardworking. And you know one thing that made me do everything that I could is because I saw something in her that these other people couldn't see. She had that magnetism. I noticed that she was a crowd puller, the person that would move with people to wherever she would move to. So let's take a ride and visit Kalabo together. Stay with me on this journey. So this is Mongu Harbor, and once we happen to turn right, we'll be headed to Kalabo, because that's Mongu Kalabo Road. And here we are, These are the vehicles parked on the left, loading people, and they will proceed to Kalabo as well. So this is Mongu Harbor, and we have connected to Mongu Kalabo Road. We are now on our way to Kalabo, and what you're seeing on the sides of the road is the grass which has grown on top of the river. So that's Mongu Kalabo Bridge. It's way too long. It's way too long. Okay, so there are animals approaching, and there are stewards who are driving the animals. So in Western Province, people invest in animals. So wealth is measured in terms of how many animals has one got. So those are the ones that you're saying. So you're likely to see more of them if you stay put on this journey. So here we had to stop by so as to buy fish from those people who had fished out. And this place happens to be the tour guide. So from here, we now get into Kalabo zone. This seems to be the confinement, the border between Mongu and Kalabo. So once you cross this place, then you get into Kalabo. So Kalabo has poor road network. The roads are potholed. Stay with me on this journey. We are now in Kalabo, so we are approaching Nalionwa Secondary School. It's the second largest school in Kalabo. We are from Kalabo boarding school. So we're almost there. And from here we're gonna get introduced into the market so as to check out the new developments which are there. So we are at Nalionwa Secondary School. Check it out. Let me just stop the vehicle somewhere so that I shoot around the school so that you check out the environment. Let me step out of the car. So that's Nalionwa Secondary School. Yeah, so this place is sandy. It's pretty sandy. That's the place across. That's the ground for the school. This is where learners play ball games from. Check out how sandy it is. And that's where we were coming from. Okay, let's proceed. So this is the main market of Kalabo, and we're gonna just park at the far end of this road. It's been a while since I visited, so I don't really know what lies ahead. Yeah, the last time I came here was in 2020, and this is 2025 April. Let's ride to the end of the road. We see what's there. Yeah, it seems to be so crowded. There is lots of people, more than the people I used to see back in the day. Okay. Yeah, you saw that one waving a die and die. I don't really know him. Yeah, people are selling clothes out here. I never left these buildings. They are pretty new. All right. So I'm gonna park somewhere here and then look for a place where to sleep before I see the lady tomorrow. It's been a pretty long journey.